It seems like things are finally turning around for the overall market. If we want to check it out, the case market has just exploded inside of the past week. Now, obviously, we use this term very loosely here in sort of a meme fashion, but a lot of profit has come into this area, specifically with one big one. That's going to be the Danger Zone case. Danger Zone case is up over 33% in the past month, and a lot of other cases are following pretty similar in its footsteps. Now, if you want to look at unboxing numbers, it's not too hard to figure out exactly why. The Danger Zone cases are being unboxed at approximately a 3-to-1 ratio with the Horizon case, its closest competitor, and a lot of other cases have followed up with some pretty strong unboxing numbers as well. Obviously, we're seeing the active duty cases go absolutely insane in the unboxing numbers, but they really haven't moved too much in price point just because a lot of people are still constantly playing this game, but they're definitely on an increasing trajectory, at least in the short term here, although those are not a great investment opportunity. Everything seems to be going well inside of this area. The clutch case is not really seeing too much movement, but the snakebite is up quite significantly. If you want to talk about some of the older cases as well, your Chroma 3s, your Gamma 2s, your Revolvers, your Wildfires, everything has seen a pretty significant increase to the point now where everyone's wondering what's next inside of this area. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're giving you a $10 bonus with code MasterShiny just to try them out. They're my go-to selling spot with the highest rate for sellers, and it's super easy to use. They're going to be currently the best option, paying over 100% when you use that $10 bonus. They're super trusted when it comes to transactions, and it took me just about 2 minutes for me to get my over $200 from this Emerald Jormungandr. They've got tons of different payout options, and they're also going to be having a super low fee buyer's marketplace. It's super easy, tons of deals cheaper than Steam, and tons of different deposit options. This deal won't last forever. Make sure you check them out today with that top link in the description. Now, about a year and a half ago, I made one of the biggest claims I had ever done. After a period of growth looking like this on nearly every single case, I made the claim that cases would not be dropping back down in price for a couple different reasons. Obviously, unboxing numbers, if we wanted to look at the overall demand, and I was absolutely right inside of that area. Cases did not drop back down very significantly, maybe losing 5-10%, but after a period of 200 to 300% of growth, this is very easy to overlook. Now, inside of this area, I think it's very similar. We're going to see similar results moving forward, and that's going to be very likely because of a couple different things. If we want to look at unboxing numbers right now, they are extremely strong. We're looking at nearly 1 million per day. Obviously, a lot of these are active duty cases, but the biggest thing is going to be the supply. We're now in a very significantly different than a situation we saw a year and a half ago, where now a lot of cases are really expensive. If you want to look a year and a half ago, Spectrum 2s, Chroma 3s, these were not even sitting at $1. Now we look at them, we're looking at $3 a piece. This is really important because a lot of the supply on these older cases is running out, and some of these cheaper rare cases that we talk about being your Danger Zones, your Prismas, these are even getting to a situation now where I don't think the supply is massive enough to support a huge unboxing demand that we're going to see moving forward. Now, specifically, what does this mean for you as a potential investor, as someone who's got cases or looking to pick them up? The biggest thing I will say is don't specifically rush into buying cases this specific second. Obviously, I don't think prices are generally going to see a decreasing trajectory. That doesn't mean they're not going to decrease 5-10%. It's very likely that we could see some sort of rebound if we definitely see a little bit of a layoff in the overall interest inside this area. I don't think it's necessarily a bad time to buy either, specifically depending on what investment you're trying to make. Overall, be smart in the investments you're making, specifically with cases, because we don't know the future of them in the short term. Long term, obviously, we know they're a pretty safe play, generally speaking. However, it doesn't specifically stop there. If you want to look at the overall sticker market, it seems like it's finally hit that increasing trajectory we've been looking and waiting for. If we want to talk about Stockholm, it hasn't seen anything too crazy, but the fact that it's down, not on a decreasing trajectory, should be good news overall. If we want to look at the application numbers right here, we can see that unfortunately not really too much has changed inside of this area. It just seems like overall people are a little bit more interested in picking up these capitals as an investment. If we want to talk about Antwerp, it's in a very similar situation where we're now starting to see potentially a 10, 15, 20% growth over the past month. Very nice to see this as well, especially considering these capsules have definitely struggled. Overall, I don't think this is anything too crazy. Once again, if we want to look at the application numbers, we're really not seeing anything outstanding, but I definitely think overall, if we're seeing an increasing trajectory for these capsules, even in the short term, it's really good news considering we've got Paris and Copenhagen. Now, talking about Paris, believe it or not, it is technically in the profit over the past month. Now, obviously, this is a very large statement considering the fact that they are at 13 cents and they were sitting at roughly 13 cents a month ago, but it's finally seemed to reach its level out point. Now, unfortunately, if you're looking to try and make an investment here, obviously we know the supply is massive. Biggest thing I want to point to is the ROI. If you want to go ahead and open up one of these, the stickers inside are absolutely worthless, and this makes it really good for crafting, but this is really bad for an investment potential because obviously this means that these stickers are really no interest to nearly anyone out there, which is unfortunate. And finally, hitting up those Copenhagen capsules, it seems like it is finally time for them to start slipping. We've seen it with all of the actual sticker capsules themselves. They were sitting at about 21, 22 cents beforehand. Now they're starting to drip down a little bit into the 20-ish potential range. This is really good if you're trying to make an investment because obviously I don't think these capsules are worth 25 cents, but no one's really interested in these overall, so definitely be very careful inside of this area specifically. Now, one thing I've gotten a handful of requests to talk about is the overall agent market. Now, this is a very interesting specific because obviously agents are a non-consumable thing, and usually I try to stay away from that just because overall it's usually not the best situation. There's a lot of better profit to be found. But if we want to talk about agents, they have seen some pretty impressive growth, especially over the past year. A lot of them are up very significantly, but I definitely struggle inside of this area for a couple big reasons. First one's going to be the fact that obviously we mentioned they're non-consumable. Second's going to be the fact that I think a lot of this growth is propelled by the fact that we haven't seen an operation. I think honestly a lot of these agents have really seen this massive growth because they don't have any competition coming inside of this area. I don't think this necessarily means their growth is going to be completely wiped out when we do see an operation, but I don't think this is going to be a very repeatable amount of growth in the near future, especially if we do see consistent operations inside of this area. Now, another thing that has recently caught my attention is going to be the sticker capsule 2. Now, this is something that I continually talk about as being the indicator. Overall, if you want to look at the past, we can usually see it spike up, generally speaking, with the overall market trends. This time it's a little bit different. If we want to look at it, it just hit about a $25 price point over the past couple of days, which is really good. Unfortunately, I can't really specifically figure out why this has happened other than the fact that someone bought a very significant amount of them. Overall, probably not a bad investment considering these are a rare case. They make up 1% of the drop pool along with all these other cases. They're not discontinued, which a lot of people think they are, but they've got a really good ROI if you're looking to open them, and overall they're usually pretty heavily demanded. Now, with all of this going on inside of the market and no real updates potentially guaranteed until the Shanghai Major, I think it's very possible we could see something rolled in, one of which is definitely an operation. There's a lot of different ways you can profit off of one. The biggest thing is going to be filler skins. That's what I'm looking at right now, and I think that's what you should be looking at as well. If we see an operation come around, filler skins are definitely going to be something that I'm trying to pick up. A lot of them really haven't been seeing too much for price movements over the past couple of months, and that's a really good thing because we want these to be as low as possible when an operation does come around. Now, it's extremely important you're careful inside of this area. That's because these are not going to be the same filler skins you're looking at a couple of years ago. That's because we changed the drop system. Now you're able to choose your items, which leads to a lot more filler skins and therefore a potentially a lot lower price point. So definitely keep that in mind. But overall, these things are definitely going to be spiking up significantly if we do see an operation rolled in. The other one I want to point out is actually active duty cases. That's because if we see a brand new operation roll in, one of these active duty cases will not be replaced nearly guaranteed. Therefore, it's going to be in a very similar situation to last time where we're seeing these active duty cases drop down potentially 50% in price. Very risky inside of this area for a lot of different reasons, but one of which is the fact that it's not guaranteed to get one kicked out, even if we see a brand new case from an operation. Now, talking about if we see a brand new case in general, this is definitely something that could be a very strong possibility. We're looking at record long time since we've seen any case. It's been over 6 months, which is absolutely insane, and honestly, I think it's a very strong possibility. The biggest thing I want to point out with this is it's only going to be impacting potentially one of these active duty cases, but probably not even that significantly. If we want to look at the clutch case and the snakebite case after they got removed, usually we're seeing a huge uptick, and then it pretty much goes back down to the price point it was sitting at beforehand, especially now where we're looking at inflative active duty prices because of the past events of the week, and I don't think it's going to be the best idea to make an investment into this area in the current moment because you're probably not going to be making any profit even if it does get removed. Now, finally, what should you be doing right now? The first thing I'm going to be doing is checking out those case unboxing numbers consistently. Want to make sure that we're staying at this high level because that's going to be a very strong indicator. Otherwise, just generally observing the market. Right now is a great observation period because we don't know specifically what's going to be coming next, but being prepared is going to put you ahead of everyone. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.